Well, welcome to this edition of Ask the Mayor. Today we have a very special guest with us today, the President and the CEO of the Douglas County Chamber of Commerce, Callie Boatwright. So please stay tuned for this edition of Ask the Mayor. Welcome to today's edition of Ask the Mayor. I have a very special guest with me today, Callie Boatwright, who is the President and CEO of the Douglas County Chamber. Callie, thank you very much for being here today.
It's an absolute pleasure, Mr. Mayor.
Well, I wonder if you could just, and I know everybody knows what the Chamber of Commerce does, but for those who may not know, if there's anybody out there, tell us a little bit about the Chamber of Commerce and the mission and some of those things.
I'm happy to. Actually, you'd be surprised how many people don't know what the Chamber of Commerce does. I find that we get everything from a government agency to a group that welcomes visitors to the community, which we do a little bit of. But the mission of the Chamber of Commerce is to support, promote, and attract business for the good of the community. And it's really a twofold proposition. We, of course, are in business to help businesses. We are a nonprofit 501c6. And as a 501c6, it's a membership organization made up of businesses in the community. At the current time, we have about 800 member businesses who we work to help market with one another and also help market them directly to the residents of the county. We also serve as the Welcome Center for the community, and that is for all new residents. Now, you all have a wonderful Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the CVB, as it's called, does a wonderful job with tourists and bringing tourists in and working with the hotels, motels, and restaurants. But the Chamber's focus is primarily on new residents. In fact, we probably give away more phone books than the phone company, I feel like, some days. But we do produce the community's map, which is very helpful to those new residents, as well as the community guide for the county. So it's really a good place to be when you're looking at not just new businesses, but also new residents.
Well, you're exactly right. We do have a great Convention and Visitors Bureau. But I must tell you, when I go to a new city, not all cities have a Convention and Visitors Bureau, and especially one that's as active as the one that we have.
Absolutely.
But one of the things I do oftentimes before I go to a city that I've never been, and I have questions about maybe lodging or questions about it, the first thing I do is I call the Chamber of Commerce, because there's almost always a Chamber of Commerce in every city, and you can always get the kind of information about hotels and maps and those kind of things. But beyond that, I wonder if maybe you could tell me a little bit about some of the initiatives of the Chamber of Commerce.
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay.
I mentioned the support of businesses and the marketing to one another, and I think one of the things that we do just an excellent job at is providing networking opportunities for those businesses. A lot of people may not even know what networking is, but simply it's a connection. Sometimes I feel like a people broker in some ways. We connect one person who has a business with another person who might be able to use their services, or they may exchange some business contacts. We do that through 3 different events every single month. We have a morning coffee card exchange, which is provided generally at the place of business, and actually the city hosts one every May, which is, I'll have to say, one of our very favorites every year because it's the home, a historical home here in downtown Douglasville, the home of Dot Paget, and you all do a beautiful job with that. So the coffee card exchange, as I said, is each month, and then we also have a luncheon that's housed here at the Douglasville Conference Center. And that luncheon has actually grown to accommodate about 180 people. Wow. So as we continue to grow, it's really become more and more a place for people not just to network, but we try to have speakers who can bring topics of interest to the business community and help them be better business leaders. And finally, we do a business after hours every month, and it's an occasion a little more relaxed. It's over a 2-hour time frame at the end of the day. And on the third Thursday of every month, our business members get together and have an opportunity again to network and interact with one another. And I think that's really a good way for them informally to do business with one another. One of the other things we do, and actually we're partnering with the Downtown Douglasville Development Authority, is training opportunities and educational opportunities. The newest one is called Maximum Marketing, which is a very catchy title. That program is being offered through the Small Business Development Center, and we'll be having 15 members who have applied for and secured a spot to go through and learn exactly how to market their specific business. In fact, each of them, after 6 weeks, will leave with their very own marketing plan.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned marketing. Just today at the weekly Rotary Club luncheon, your staff, they were there today, and apparently you have rolled out a new program for young members, chamber members, and I guess you don't really have to be a chamber member
you can be a community member,
attend,
absolutely.
to get young people, young business people especially, involved in the community. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that program. It was very enlightening today.
I'd love to. It's been very exciting. There's As you know in your profession as mayor, I'm sure you speak with other mayors and find out what sort of best things are going on, best practices in other communities. Chamber business is very similar in that there are a lot of trends going on. And over the last couple of years, I've been hearing more and more about these young professionals group. There are a couple in the state currently, and they seem to be doing a very good job of really enabling those young professionals, and in our case it's age 24 through 36, so unfortunately I can't be part of the group.
No, they didn't invite me today.
No, I don't understand that, but this is a group of young leaders who are in our business community, and some are residents here, who we are providing an opportunity for them to get together with one another, also providing them with opportunity to have mentors from those business leaders I mentioned earlier, and to kind of bring them along, actually. I know that I've lived in the community here for almost 18 years, so I was in that age group once. And sometimes when you're in that 24 to 36-year-old range, you really want to get together with other people your own age. Again, the networking opportunities are really important, but you really want to know what is out there that I can be involved in. Because I think innately everyone wants to do a little something to give back, but not everybody knows where to plug in. And so as we started developing this program, it was great. We have about 200 people signed up with interest. And of course, the sign up for this is on places like MySpace and Facebook, places that I'm sure you and I both have our listings. But it's great because that's where those individuals are getting their information. So it's really important if you're going to work with young professionals that you meet them where they live, and that's what we've tried to do.
Sure. And it obviously has been very successful. They were telling us today, I believe you had 80 members that RSVP'd for the first meeting.
Yep.
And on a very stormy night for your first meeting, you had 50 people to actually show up.
We did. It was very exciting, and I have to also give a nod of the hat to Chauncey's, who hosted that group.
Yes.
We do have business members in the community who have volunteered to house them, this young professionals group, and it works out great. We've got another social coming up in April, and then we also are doing a luncheon with some CEOs from businesses, not only in Douglasville, but also in Atlanta, that will be able to provide some mentorship, as I said, to this group. And we've just seen a real surge of interest from that age group, and we're really hoping that it doesn't just work for the chamber, but as they get plugged in, that they'll be plugged in with the city and with the county and other groups that need them.
And I think they will. I compliment you for starting that, because I think it's going to be good for our future.
I think so too. I think so too. We're very excited about that, and I think it's an under-tapped resource. So we really hope that that they'll be as interested in this as we are in providing it. Sure.
The City of Douglasville and the Chamber has had a very good working relationship over the last few years, and we both of us try to eliminate those duplications that we have. How important do you think a close working relationship between the governments and the Chamber of Commerce are?
Oh, I think it's absolutely essential. I don't think that any of us as a community could move forward in the way that we want to unless we were working together. You've got, of course, the residents, you've got the businesses, and you've got elected officials who are really trying to lead and shape the community. And you do an excellent job, as does Tom Worthen, of inviting input and getting that from not just the residents, but also our businesses through our board of directors and through our many business members. And so when we can be a resource like that, it's important. But I know that my board, as well as myself, have really done a good job of trying to communicate, to be at the city council meetings, and be a part of the process. And you've always invited that, which has really helped the relationship grow a great deal. I think part of that, too, you mentioned trying not to duplicate or overlap services. For the time I've been at the Chamber in the last 3.5 years, we've worked very closely with the Convention and Visitors Bureau and with the Downtown Development Authority. And what's really nice is that as we sort of defined what we're good at and learned about our core competencies, one thing that stuck out was that there was a lot of duplication with things like tourists going to two different places to get information, and new residents as well. So we've really tried to define those roles, and I find that we're really better at what we do when we focus on our area specifically.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a tremendous learning experience, I think, all the way around, but we couldn't do what we do without the city and the city's support.
Well, I think it's a good idea. I know one of your board members or someone that's a member of the Chamber of Commerce, they have been coming to all of our meetings lately. As a matter of fact, a few weeks ago, we had a meeting that had this room, the city council room was full. We had standing room only, and actually there was nowhere for the person to sit down, and they had to wait as we went through the various agenda items
and they
for them to come in. And you know, it was interesting, after the meeting was over with, the individual came up and said, you know, I didn't know about this. And so it's good that you have someone coming so that we, both of us, know what our various entities are doing.
Absolutely, and you all always have representation at our board meetings, which allows you all to come back and really educate not just yourself, but also the entire staff on any new initiatives of the Chamber. And of course, you all are always really involved with us, which we appreciate very much.
Sure. I wonder if you could share with our audience a little bit about how the structure of the Chamber of Commerce. You have a board of directors, and you elect those board of directors, and you have a president, and kind of how it, behind the scenes, how it operates. And maybe your staff, talk a little bit about how you're structured and some of their responsibilities.
I would love to. Thank you for asking. I like to say that we're structured like an upside-down triangle. I think a lot of times when people think of a CEO or a president, they see them at the top of the triangle, and then it sort of comes down from there. But ours is actually flipped as a nonprofit, and I think that's really important for people to understand the model. In this case, major part of the triangle is our members. They're at the top. We're, as I said, a nonprofit membership organization. And so we have 800 members who are those that we are accountable to, those that we need to show return on investment to, and are very, very interested in what things they want to see as a business community. So we never forget the fact that without those members, we wouldn't be in business. From those members are elected a board of directors, and our board of directors is 19 people. Those women and men are business leaders in the community, and they are elected in groups or classes of 5 individuals, and they serve a 3-year term. So we have 15 that serve that way, and another 3 that are selected annually by the current chairman of the board. Now, the chairman of the board is an elected position, and they are elected from among the membership. So the chairman, of course, leads our organization. I serve at the pleasure of the board, and so I like to say I have 19 bosses, which is actually tremendous. Sometimes you would wonder if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
It's a good thing. I can tell you, I work for about 30,000 people, so we're accountable.
Mine doesn't seem so much all of a sudden. I think having 19 people who can come to conclusions, and they don't always agree, which is nice, because then you get to hear both sides.
Sure.
And I think that's really important. Consensus is important, but I think considering all ends of the discussion is also important. But I've been very blessed. We've had very good people among the chamber board, And then we also have volunteer groups like our Chamber Diplomats. Our Chamber Diplomats is 25 individuals who volunteer their time away from their business to come out and help us with things like ribbon cuttings and events like the banquet, which we just held in February.
And it was great. You did a great job.
I'm so glad. And I want to make sure that I give kudos where they're due. Although I agree it was a wonderful event, I will take no credit. We had a volunteer chairperson who actually this year was our chairman of the board's wife,
Right.
Penny Poor, excuse me. And so that was interesting because we had a volunteer leader who really pulled that group together. But on staff, I have John Gray, who is our Director of Membership and Events. John is absolutely stupendous. He has been with us for 2 years, and I've had to start looking at other things besides the events because he does such a fabulous job. I don't have to worry about him anymore. John comes to us from Clear Channel Communications, and he has just been such a blessing to the chamber and I think to the community as we do things like our banquet, which had 420 people attending. It was the first time ever that we'd had that large of a group. We were also very excited to bring it back into the community at the new conference center over at Salmon Roscoe's, and so that was a good opportunity to have that many people in that center for the first time as well. Also on staff, we have someone who is incredibly near and dear to my heart, Janice Johnson, who you've probably known a lot longer than I have. Janice has been on staff at the Chamber for going on 18 years. Actually, in 3 weeks, she will have been there for 18 years. And, you know, secretly, she runs the place. She knows a lot more about what's going on than I do. Janice is our history, and we couldn't do without her. She's wonderful, and she's our Director of Finance and Administration. And then our newest member of the team is Amber Wilburn, and Amber, as you mentioned, I think spoke today at Rotary.
She did a great job, by the way.
Thank you. I'm glad she did. Amber has been with us for almost a year, and she actually focuses on communications as well as community involvement. And she's done a great job with things like bringing our newsletter in-house. She does the design all in-house now, and it's just been an exceptional job. And she is the only staff person that can work with that young professionals group, you know, legally
Right.
by age, so we like that. She's able to work with them directly, and that makes a big difference as well. But she works with our junior ambassadors group, our junior and senior high school leadership group, as well as our scholarship program, and she's done an exceptional job.
You know, you were mentioning your structure of your organization is an upside down triangle. I was thinking of something, you may have seen, I drew it out.
You did, yeah.
As an airplane pilot, you have something called controlled airspace that you want to stay out of, keeps you out of trouble, and it's an upside down cake. If you think of a layered cake turned upside down.
Like a wedding cake.
Just like this, just like a
Okay.
wedding cake. If you stay underneath that, you're not in the controlled airspace, and you're with a small plane, you're not in trouble because you can't mix with the big jetliners and things like that. So you've got a good structure.
That's
it
good.
keeps you out of trouble, just like flying. You don't
Well,
get
that's
in
why I gotta
controlled
stay at the bottom, I
That's
guess.
exactly right. You stay underneath the layers of the cake, and you're okay.
Now, is that where they get the term flying under the radar?
I think that's it.
Might have been. Might be.
I wonder, and I'm getting off track here, but what I wanted to do was give our audience an opportunity, if they're a business owner or if they're interested in becoming a member of the Chamber of Commerce, how should they do that? What's the process?
That's a great question. There are a number of different ways. I always suggest that someone come to our office, and we're located at 6658 Church Street in downtown Douglasville. And I do want to say we relocated in 2004, which was the year I started, but at the beginning of that year, before I was here, they relocated to downtown Douglasville, and I just feel like it's probably the best decision that the Chamber's made. We are right downtown. We are in the heart of a fantastic, vibrant, growing business community, and feel like we're part of the process of helping it grow. In addition to that, we're very nearby the city, nearby the Convention and Visitors Bureau as we try to coordinate activities, and it's just been great for us. So we enjoy being downtown in Douglasville, and certainly it's a great way for our members to come in and drop in when they have business downtown as well. But if you are interested in learning more about the Chamber, or if you want to come by and pick up your free map at the county, or if you'd like to learn just anything else about any of our programs, if you'd come by our offices, we're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, although there's usually someone there well before and well after that time.
Sure.
And then we also have a website at www.douglascountygeorgia.com, And at that website, you can get all of the information you need. As a matter of fact, right there on the front page, we have a downloadable application. So we make it very convenient. We have a great community calendar on there as well, which lets people know what the Chamber's doing. So it's a great place to go for information.
Good. Is there a phone number that?
There is. You can call us directly at 770-942-5022.
Well, we're certainly proud that you located downtown. I think it was a good business decision for all of your businesses that you represent, and especially for people who are new to the city. You're just right across the street, so a business owner, potential business owner that's going to relocate here can visit the Chamber of Commerce. They can come directly across the street and apply for all their business license and everything that they need to do.
And we've had a good chance to get out. We'll actually, if someone comes into our office and is looking to go get their business license or to go get something from the CVB, it's always a beautiful day in downtown Douglasville, so we tend to just walk them where they need to be. You guys are so convenient and close.
That's right.
It works out great.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day today to talk with us and to talk with the audience and tell them about the wonderful things that you and the Douglas County Chamber are doing.
Well, and again, we appreciate so much everything that the city has done for us, and certainly you yourself, Mr. Mayor, have been a great leader of this community. So we thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us today on Ask the Mayor.
Hi, I'm Chan Weeks with Keep Douglasville Beautiful, and City TV is proud to present these drought survival tips.
I'm Randy Cooper, City of Douglasville arborist. Another drought tip is to avoid heavy pruning. Heavy pruning increases plant growth, which increases water usage. So let the plants kind of be this year. Don't prune heavy.
For more drought survival tips and information, please contact Keep Douglasville Beautiful, University of Georgia Cooperative Extension Office, and the Douglasville Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority.
Well, thank you for joining us on today's Ask the Mayor program. And a special thanks to Kelly Boatwright for taking the time out of her schedule to tell us a little bit about how the Douglas County Chamber of Commerce works. We'll see you next time on Ask the Mayor.